A few years ago, I was traveling with two friends through rural Pennsylvania. We were into Urbex, abandoned asylums, ghost towns, schools, you name it. One day, we heard about this small, rotting church outside of Harrisburg. Locals said it was shut down after a gas leak incident in the 80s that killed the basement. It was a Sunday afternoon when we parked behind the tree line and walked up to it. The church was overgrown, half sunk into the earth like it was trying to disappear. Windows were shattered, vines crawled up the bell tower, and the wooden doors had deep scratches, too wide to be human. Inside, it smelled like mildew and burnt candles. The pews were rotting, Bibles scattered like someone left in a rush. We split up, dumb, I know. I took the left wing, someone took the loft, and James went down into the basement. 10 minutes passed before I realized how quiet it had gotten. I went to the stairwell that led down. James? I called. No answer. But I heard something. Not footsteps. Not breathing. It was this, wet, dragging sound. I slowly descended with my flashlight, each step colder than the last. At the bottom, I found him standing completely still in front of a locked meat freezer. He didn't react when I called his name again. When I touched his shoulder, he flinched like I'd burned him. He looked at me, wide-eyed, sweating, and whispering. It opened and something was inside. The freezer door was now slightly ajar. Inside, it wasn't cold. It was warm. And in the corner, there was a handprint on the back wall. Fresh. And upside down. We ran. We didn't speak a word all the way back. And James? He never talked about Urbex again. There's this building downtown where I live, abandoned for decades. Locals say it used to be a juvenile detention center. Now it's boarded up, covered in graffiti, and mostly forgotten. But last summer, my cousin and I decided to explore it. The upper floors were trashed. Nothing special, broken desks, moldy mattresses. But in the eastern wing, we found a narrow corridor that led to a locked office. The door had been kicked in. Inside, the room was empty, except for a hatch in the floor. It was square, bolted, and made of metal. But one corner was slightly raised, like it had been opened recently. We hesitated, of course. But we're idiots. We opened it. A vertical metal ladder led straight down into pitch black. We dropped a glow stick. It landed on something hard, maybe cement, maybe tile. The air that came up from the hole was warm, stale, and sharp, like rust and rot. I went down first. At the bottom, my boots hit tiled floor. It was a hallway. Underground. With lights. Not working lights, but emergency backup ones. The dim red type. They lit the corridor just enough to see that it stretched far, with heavy doors on each side. Soundproofed. I swear to you, I heard someone whispering behind one of the doors. Not talking, whispering. And it wasn't English. I yelled up to my cousin to get down here now, but the second he got halfway down the ladder, the red lights shut off. We were left in pure black. There was no echo anymore. The whispering stopped. But I felt breath, close, deliberate, near my neck. We climbed up that ladder so fast I cut my hand on the hatch bolt. We slammed it shut and pushed a filing cabinet over it. I've driven by that building a few times since. But that office window? It's always fogged from the inside now. Back in 2019, I went on a road trip through Colorado with a friend. We were both photography students, and we had this obsession with abandoned buildings, especially places that had a weird silence to them. Someone on Reddit mentioned an old performance hall in a box canyon near a ghost town. No official records. Just coordinates. We figured it would be a collapsed stage or a broken-down theater. But what we found didn't make sense. We hiked a few miles into the canyon and saw a rusted-out sign. Red Hollow Youth Theater, EST 1949. The building was still standing. A single-level structure half sunk into the cliff wall. The main doors were sealed, but there was a broken side entrance. Inside, it was dusty, but intact. Rows of red theater seats faced a wide wooden stage. And behind the curtain was another set of chairs. Almost like the stage faced both directions. In the silence, we both felt the urge to whisper. Even our camera clicks felt wrong. Then, from somewhere above us, we heard a soft, deliberate clap. We froze. There were no balconies. No second floors. But the clap came again. Then two more. We turned to leave, but the hallway back out was dark. Darker than before. And there was a new sound, a distant voice, reciting lines. We rushed for the exit. But as I reached the door, my friend turned back, camera still raised, trying to film. The moment he lifted it toward the stage, every seat was full. Not with people, just shapes. Still. Silent. Facing him. He dropped the camera. When we finally got out, we didn't talk. Not on the hike back. Not in the car. But that night, I checked his SD card. Every photo we took? Blank. Except one. A blurry shot of the stage. With someone standing alone, center frame, facing the empty seats. And their face looked exactly like his.